this type of knockdown texturing, we're just going to want to run the can underneath hot water to let it heat up. As soon as the water heats up, you can go ahead and pull the plug and just let it sit in the hot water so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of water here. Okay, so now my water is getting nice and hot. I'll go ahead and pull the plug and just let it sit in the hot water for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. On the top of this here, it's got an adjustment dial for adjusting the texture size of the knockdown. I find on my particular texture it's like medium to heavy, so it just depends on what you got going on to blend in. Different textures have different size flat portions. So an orange peel is like a really fine grate, whereas this is like a medium to a heavy knockdown texture. It's probably a medium. So just letting the can heat up here. Okay, waited about 5 minutes. Our texture here. I'm going to show you adjusting the dial on the top here. First, since this is a new can, you're going to need to break off this little deal here. And if you look at the top of it, I'm not sure I'm giving you a very good angle here. You can see how it says heavy. So, adjusting this to our, looks like heavies to the left and lighters to the right. So I'm going to turn mine just a hair lighter than heavy to get more of a medium texture. I'm going to shake the can up real good. And now coming over to our patch area here. Definitely want to make sure you have drop cloth down. Got a trash bag down. I'm going to adjust it a little bit to give me a little more, cover a little more area here because texturing makes a mess. And we just want to hold the can about 8 to 10 inches away, and in a circular motion go ahead and spray it onto our spot. So here it goes. Circular motion here. Okay, now we'll let it dry and then we'll come back and knock it down. And it looks like I got a little bit of a run there. That'll be okay. We'll knock that down. The nice thing about the texture is you can redo it. If one little part doesn't come out how you want it, then you can recoat with the texture again to straighten it out. Okay, once you've sprayed your texture on, what you want to do is pop the little lid off and clean this all out real good so that you can reuse it another time, otherwise it'll dry in there. And I usually just kind of blow through the hole to make sure everything's clear here. Okay. All good there. All nice and clear, ready for reuse another day. You want to wait about 1 to 2 minutes for the texture to dry. And then the trick with the knockdown is to hold the knife as parallel as you can. Now your instinct's kind of want to be to go like this, but you don't. You actually want to go as much at a 90 as possible and then just lightly knock it down in a smooth movement. So here it goes. We're just going to skim over the surface. We don't want to walk the knife. We want it to be as smooth as possible. And if you need to take the material off, you can take it off with your other blade or using a mud tray. Again, just light pressure, very lightly, just skimming the top, and it's going to create some flat areas. We really don't want all flat areas, just some. And sometimes I like to use a smaller knife for smaller areas, for just touching up a little bit of an area that I recognize, I want it to be a little flatter, right there, so I can use my knife, not mess everything else up. And the key is getting it as much as possible to blend into our surrounding texture to match it. And we're just blending it into our surrounding area. Prime it up later, paint it, and shouldn't even notice it. Should blend right in. And all that's left now is just to clean off the tools. And we're ready to go. So now our patch is all dry and ready to be painted in. It is preferable to priming it first, so allow it to blend a lot better. There's our patch all painted up, good to go.